Hello, everyone. It's a wonderful day here at the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Oxnard and Port Hueneme. My name is Andrew, and I am from our Port Hueneme site. Today, I am here to introduce you to our National Art Contest. National Art Contest embodies two subcategory contests within it, National Fine Arts and Image Makers. Both these contests are awesome contests that have all of our members, ages from 6 to 18, submitting their art pieces and photography into these contests to have judges who volunteer their time to come on out here and look at all these art pieces and figure out who the best of the best is. National Art Contest has three levels of judging. Locals, which is here in Greater Oxnard and Port Hueneme, regionals, which is the basis of California, and nationals, which is all of the USA and any of its residences that has a Boys and Girls Club located in it. If a member wins first place in locals, they move on to regionals. If they win first place in regionals, which again is all of California, they move on to nationals. If they win first place in nationals, that means that they have been deemed to have or taken the best art piece in that category and age group in all of the USA, which is a very high honor, in my opinion, to be deemed first place in nationals. So, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about National Fine Arts. National Fine Arts is a subcategory of the National Art Contest. In the National Fine Arts, we have a whole bunch of categories. This is all physical art categories. Some examples of National Fine Arts is pastel, monochromatic, and many more that you're going to see right now. And I will explain a little bit more in detail about what each category is. We encourage members to do art everywhere, whether it be at school, here at the club, at home, something they see online. We encourage them to do it. And if they do an art piece, we also encourage them to please submit it in to us so we can submit it into this awesome contest. Image Makers is as well a subcategory of National Art Contest. It is all about photography and has 5 categories within it, some of them being portraits, another being nature and surrounding. I will explain those in detail in just a little bit. But for Image Makers, members can use any type of camera, whether it be a phone, a professional camera like Canon, or even an over-the-counter disposable camera that you picked up at the store. We encourage all members to take photos wherever they're at, whether it be at school, at the club, at home, on a field trip, or maybe you guys decide to go out and travel the world. They can take photos there and still submit them to us. You're about to see a lot of art pieces and photography that have been taken and done, not just here at the club, but like I said, at the schools, at home, on road trips that you guys may have gone on. We have a lot of pieces here. And everything here, like we said, has been done by the member and only by the member. The staff, parents, teachers are only influencing them and showing them what they need to do. But this is all their work and their creativity. I hope you guys enjoy it, and let's go ahead and enter into our virtual tour. In our first category, we have printmaking. Printmaking is basically using stamps or something similar to stamps to create our art pieces. For example, in these art pieces you are seeing right here, these are made out of leaves and other objects that members have found out in nature to create the art pieces that have been awarded first place for both these two categories, 6 to 9 and 10 to 12. In our second category here, oil and acrylics, students have used just the media, oil, and acrylics to create the art pieces here. They have been guided again through their parents or guardians, their teachers, or the staff here at the club. In this category, multicolored drawings is one of our actually biggest categories we have here at our exhibit today. In this category, we have a whole bunch of drawings that have been created through just different types of media sources but they are all have to be multicolors. So there's a whole bunch of colors in this aspect, rainbows, drawings, and even this awesome pastel looking piece you see here in 10 to 12. All these pieces have been, again, made at home or at the club or with you at home yourself or just schools. For this category, it's a little bit different. This is another one of our bigger categories called mixed media. In mixed media, it has a whole bunch of art pieces that have been created through a whole bunch of resources, whether it be oil and acrylics, pastel, or even some wonderful stuff that you see here going on. What we have some here is we have items that have been created through awesome techniques, whether it be through sculptures, drawings, or even putting paper together or painting on interesting different types of canvases, such as the board you see for our first place winner here at 6 to 9. As well, you will see that we have some pieces that have been made through candy, have bottles with electronics into it, mixing a combination of engineering and art together, combining into our STEAM category, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. As well as you also see we have some pieces made through nature with the leaves and painting on a cardboard as well. In this category, group projects, we have a interesting type of category here. This is where we have 2 or more members working on a single project. In this category, members come together and kind of like mixed media, they can use different type of media devices as well. But as long as there's 2 or more members working on this particular project, it goes into this category of group projects. In this category, we have collage. Everyone's very familiar with collage, where you use different types of cutouts that you may find in magazines, or you print out from the computer or something like that, and you paste them together to create a imagery that represents something. This category has very few entries, but that's fine because we do have some awesome entries that have been entered into the contest while doing this. In this category, pastel is very similar to the oil and acrylic. Members are constricted to using just the media platform of pastel art pieces. They are not allowed to use anything other than pastel to draw their pieces. Pastel is very fun to use because members get to get dirty. And the youth, 6 to 9, 10 to 12, even some of the older ones in 13 to 15, 16 to 18, love to get dirty with this category. Because it allows them to be smudging the pieces, get their hands nice and dirty through all the pastel art pieces, and just have fun with it without the worry of consequences of making a mess in the art. The bigger the mess, the better the piece. In this category, just like oil and acrylic and pastel, we have watercolor. Members are to use only watercolor paints in this category. Watercolor is pretty fun because just like with pastel, it does get a little messy, but it has a little bit mess factor to it. Members can use any type of painting style they want as long as they're using just watercolor. With only the watercolor being accessible, you can see we have a lot of creative pieces that go into this art competition. Some that we even don't understand how members have made, but they have made them and they look really awesome. And we are proud of every single piece here. In this category, members can use any type of media source they want, but they're restricted to using only one shade of color. They're only allowed to use one shade. When I say one shade, I don't mean just black and white. They can use any shade of red on a single piece, whether it be a really light red, such as a pink shade, or a really dark red, such as a crimson shade. Or even they could use blue, any color they want, as long as they're only using that one type of color and that one shade of color. Members have a little harder time using this category, but as you can see, the members who did submit into this category have submitted some really awesome and really unique pieces. Welcome to the Image Makers part of our National Art Contest. Here, I'm going to show you all 5 categories along with all the pieces that our members have taken, just like we did in the previous section with National Fine Arts. First off, we're going to start off with our biggest category, nature and surrounding. In this category, members have taken photos that not just involve nature, but it also involves stuff that surrounds us. For example, the streets, buildings, people talking in the streets, anything like that. All that stuff is in this category. If you see it outside in the streets, if you see it within the building, if you see it in the forest, nature, at a zoo, wherever it may be, this is the category for that. Next, we're going to be talking about portraits. When I ask members what they think of portraits, they always tell me they think of a painting, which is kind of correct. What I like to tell them is think about the presidential paintings of George Washington, how it's him just sitting there, fancy, presented in a posed position. That is what I think of when I think of portraits. Some other things that people have thought of is animals. Animals can be going into nature's surrounding. They can also go into portraits like we're talking about right now. What they really do is as long as the animal is seated or posed or presenting in a fashionable manner, that can be taken into portrait. Up next is our third category, culture and tradition. In this category is just as the title says, culture and tradition. It's all about your culture, what you as your race may do. And tradition, not so much targeting towards the race tradition, but such as religion, or even family, or something that you just do normally. Some ideas of traditions are such as game night, or maybe even basketball. Everyone loves basketball. Or just recently, here in December, we had our Oxnard Parade. You'll see some photos in there as well from that. Up next is our fourth category, editing and filter. This category, personally, is one of my favorites. This is where members get to be creative with their photography. They get to add effects to it. They get to use filters. Some things I always recommend members to do if they don't really know how to use stuff like Photoshop or any other programs like that is use Snapchat, use Instagram, TikTok, Facebook Messenger. There's filters all over the applications that are free to use for members. And of course, we always remind members that if they're using any type of application like this, they need to have parents' permission and guidance. Some basic filters, as you can see in here, is black and white. That's a really simple filter that anyone could do even on their phone without any applications needed. Woo! And last but not least is our fifth category, fashion and design. This is a very interesting category. It does have some interesting entries into it. As you can see, people get very creative with the fashion as you go with. They even dressed up a dog in an awesome outfit that you can see has taken third place. So always, if it looks fashionable, I recommend taking a photo of it. Thank you for coming and joining us here at the Boys and Girls Club. I hope you enjoyed coming inside and looking at all the art pieces our awesome students and members have made here at the club. Some of these members may no longer be attending the club, but their art is still displayed here. Maybe your member has attended the Boys and Girls Club and you saw their art piece here at our exhibit today. If you did see it, make sure you contact the site that your member used to go to. For example, if they went to Port Hueneme, contact the Hueneme Clubhouse, or if they went to Fish Street, contact MVS. And so on and so forth. Whatever site, maybe it's an after school site even, contact them and I'm sure they can help you out with getting your art piece back or even your ribbon if your member happened to win first, second, or third place. And until next time, have a great week, have a great day, and stay safe.